The energy of entitlement. I want this. I want it now. This energy is a very immature energy that I carry with me and I'm working on healing. Now, this energy often gets created. Let's start there with like the creation. It gets created by having often a very permissive parent. Permissive parent being a parent who won't create very firm boundaries. And if there are boundaries, maybe they're not upheld. So an example of this would be when I was a kid, I really wanted, this toy. There was a toy gun that I really wanted, and my mum said no. And I begged again and again and again, and the boundary was like no. And after a while, she gave in. Probably I was whining, I was being a little fucking brat. And she was sick of it, and instead of staying firm in the boundary, she gave in, and she was like, fine, I'll get you what it is that you want. And what that creates inside of a child is I learn I get what I want, and I don't have to listen to what it is that you're telling me. And that energy that gets created from not having very clear boundaries allows a very selfish child to remain. And that can wreak havoc when you're trying to connect to your soul and you're ready to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature. And this energy has been wreaking havoc in my life for a number of years. And what I've been struggling with is taking full ownership of that. I carry so much shame for the fact that I show up that way. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at the fact that I show up that way. I go into separation around that energy. And for a long time, I've gone into blame. I've gone into blaming my parents for being that way, for my upbringing, instead of arriving. And sometimes that's necessary. We have to move through those emotions, but to eventually arrive at a place of being like, oh, wow, it's down to me to heal this. Like, I've got to step into the way of responsibility, the first way of oneness. I've got to become that for myself in this moment to elevate out of being this entitled kid. I can sit here and I can blame my parents for how they brought me up for the rest of my life. I could do that if I wanted to do. It's just going to keep me trapped exactly where I'm at. When I take responsibility for how I'm showing up, take ownership, and one time I was talking to Rachel about this, and she was like, just wear it. Just own it. Like, wear it. Put on the sweatshirt of being an entitled fog. And not to say, become that or get lost in it. But she's saying, put it on. Realize that you're wearing that shirt. Don't let it hide in your blind spot. Don't go into, I don't show up that way. Embrace the fact that this is a part of me. So I've had this beautiful lesson recently that came through my life around a pair of shoes. So this pair of shoes. So for me, I love hiking, and it's like one of my passions. And I also love the gear side of things. I really geek out on getting like the best gear. And a couple months ago, I had this. The pair of shoes that I always hiked with, they wore out. And I got this inspiration to start looking. And this pair of hiking shoes that I wore on the Colorado Trail called Ultras, Lone Peak Ultras. I loved those shoes. I wore them to hike, a bunch of 14ers. I wore on them Colorado Trail. I was like, maybe they've got something that I'll be interested in. And I looked and I found these, and I just fell in love with them. I was like, wow. I love this is my like favorite color at the moment, this like sand color, and I love this green, like I love this like a greeny blue. I just thought they were so beautiful, and they're like high tops, which is the kind of shoe that I've grown to really like. It's like a combo between like a hiking boot and a trail shoe, and I fell in love with them. And just so happens on REI, I had a bunch of points saved up. I had like $112 worth of points, and the shoes themselves were $150. So in that moment, if I was to allow the entitled child to run, and this is where it has shown up a lot in my life, is through financial means. It just gets what it wants. That's that energy. I want that. I take it. I get it. Right? That doesn't come from this abundant, connected place. It's very selfish in nature, this energy. It's very, I want that. I take it. It's mine. Not, there is enough here. I can be patient for the right time when I need it. I had this definition of abundance one time, that abundance is having what you need when you need it. Right? And I like that. Having what you need when you need it. And obviously I don't need this pair of shoes right now. I would like it. I would prefer to have them, but I don't need them. But the energy in there is like, no, I need it. I want it. Very childish. So I decided, I was like, well, I could buy them right now with my points and they'll only cost me $40. November is coming up, and November means Black Friday after Thanksgiving in the US. Black Friday in the UK is, I think, before Christmas, but out here in America, Black Friday is when all the big sales go on the day after Thanksgiving. And I knew that there was going to be a bunch of sales, so I was like, just be patient. It could go on sale, the shoes could go on sale in REI, or REI normally have like an annual sale where you get 20% off. 20% of 150 is like $30, and that means you'd be getting the shoes for free instead of spending the money. And there's the part of me that's like, oh, it's only $40, just get them now. Do I need them now? No, I don't need them now. I have plenty of the shoes I can wear. Yes, my hiking shoes are wearing out. The bottoms start, eroding away and that's starting to poke through. But I've got other pairs I can wear in the time being, and it's not like I'm going on any crazy trips. So I decided, well, what's my responsibility? Let's work through the ways I want this. I don't need them right now. I should probably use that money, even though it's like $40, it's not a huge amount. But if this is how I show up when I have a small saving to make, this is how I'm going to show up on the macro as well. So if I can start to master the fact that I'm showing up as a little entitled fuck, and while it's only a $40 difference, which isn't loads, it's the same energy that feeds into every area of my life. So I may as well use this as a place to do some work on myself and learn how to be patient. So that's the second way I want this. It's the way of patience. This was in September, October, early October, I think late September, that I found these shoes that I couldn't stop thinking about them. I was like, these are so beautiful. I want to wear them just out and about, not necessarily even hiking, because I thought that they looked so cool. And I couldn't get them out of my head. But being patient with myself, and every time those thoughts come up, yeah, okay, I'm going to get them. I'll wait till they go on sale. I don't need them right now. This is different to when my dogs need food, right? I'm not going to wait to do that. They actually need that. They need food. There's certain things that, to be the way of responsibility is, yeah, I actually do need this right now. I need to purchase this. But that little voice in my head that says, oh, I need this, it's about feeling the difference. Do I actually need this as the way of responsibility? Or do I think I need this as the entitled child? And that's what I've been feeling into a lot. And so I was patient. And then I was dropped in just a couple of days ago. And I was doing a lot of energetic work, working with all the energies that I was processing for that day and some wounding that showed up. And I just got the little nudge, just check on REI. So after I finished the energetic work that I did, I opened up REI and typed in Ultra. And out of all of the shoes that they had on there, maybe 20, 30, 50 pairs of Ultras. REI, for anyone that doesn't know, is a US company that specializes in outdoor hiking, mountain biking, rock climbing, that kind of thing. So it's huge. They're all over the US, and they have everything. And so there's all these different Ultras, and the one pair that were on sale were the very pair that I liked. And now they were 40% off. 40% off. And I just spent the last month and a half thinking about these shoes very regularly, nearly every day. and becoming the way of patience. Every time the thoughts would come up, I would come back to myself, be like, be patient, be patient. Wait until the end of November when they go on sale. You don't need them right now, Danny. So I've been working with this aspect of my inner child in this way. Again, not a huge big difference, $40. Like, I've got this free money to spend because that's points. But if I just allow this energy to just take over and it's only, and justify, it's only $40, I'm doing that everywhere in my life. And what happens when I've got millions of dollars? Then I'm justifying hundreds of thousands? No, I can't do that. Like, I want to be responsible. I don't want to allow this energy to dictate my life. Because it's out of control. It's an energy that comes from an immature child. I want to heal it. And so, obviously, they were 40% off. I mean, they were only they were like $89 with tax or something like that, which was below the $112 that I had. So I got the shoes, and quite clearly, the message that I got over the past couple months is, when you choose to become the way of patience and not allow the energy of entitlement to run, you will have everything that you dream of and more. I never expected for them to go on a sale of 40%. I expected a 20% discount, because REI do this every Black Friday. You get one item, and you can even look it up. They're probably doing the sale right now. You get one item and the sale, and one item not sale, 20% off. And I was like, okay, I'll get them 20% off. And I managed to get them 40% off, which to me is just this nod, this ode from the universe saying, this is the message. Show up as the ways. Don't allow your programs to run, especially entitlement, and everything that you want will be right there for you, and even more. And the more in this sense was the 40% as opposed to just like a 20% discount. So that's the moral of this story, is when we allow the entitlement to run, we disconnect ourselves from the potential of the abundance of the universe. And yes, still had to pay $90, but as I said, it's like, this is 3 points that I had. And if this is just what happens in the space of a couple months of becoming the way of patience on an energetic level, it's not like the entitlement showed up and I'm just disregarding it. I'm doing the energetic work in that moment when I feel the entitlement running to drop in, connect, and become what way I'm lacking, which in this case is the way of responsibility and the way of patience. And in that, the universe is reflecting back to me. When you choose to be that vibration, this is what we give you back. So when we do this now on a macro scale in every area of our life, imagine how much abundance we could end up living in when we choose to be the ways instead of choosing to allow our programs to run. When we allow the entitled child to be selfish, self-centered, to want, to take, we disconnect ourselves from source. We're allowing that energetic program of selfishness to run. And when we choose to connect to ourselves and do the inner work on an energetic level, we can raise our level of consciousness, become a more responsible, mature, and enlightened being. And that's the work that I do on a daily basis. And if you want to learn more, visit mastersofselfuniversity.com. Thank you for listening. See you in the next one.